we're about to get into our discussion on the meta for this past season. I did notice it seemed like I was facing a lot of destroy. There was a lot of destroy out there. My gosh, it just seemed unending. And I did see a resurgence of discard, specifically because of Scorn, I think. But discard seemed to really come back this season. I talked about the Sera Surfer deck that I have. I was finding some really good luck with that. Towards the end of the season, I was like, okay, I want to see how far I can get because I was doing really good. And I got really close to 90. I think I got all the way up to 87. And then started backsliding a little bit. And it's like, okay, well, I'm done grinding here. I'm going to let the rest of the season ride out. I was using a Black Swan deck for a good while. I think I told you about that, where I saw somebody talk about how they could use Black Swan to, I can't remember if I talked about this last season or not, but essentially okay. All right. Yeah. You use Black Swan to change all of them to 0 and then lay out Sandman and increase the cost. You can lay out all your 0 cost cards all at once. Yeah.
Wow. I used that some with Black Swan. I was forgetting.
Yeah. I used that a lot. As long as Magic wasn't on the deck or Limbo wasn't on the playing field, you had until turn 4 to get Black Swan. If you didn't have Black Swan in your hand, you might as well retreat. It's very unlikely you're going to pull off the combo to win the game. You can lay out all your 1 cost cards, but it's going to eat up everything. I think I may have won 1 or 2 games where I didn't have Black Swan out there. Any other time, though, I was just like, okay, well, I'm not even going to go past turn 5. I feel like I did all these, but this was a long season. I had a War Machine deck, and I was rocking it with War Machine.
Oh, yeah.
And then they upped Storm's cost. I kind of got away from it, which shouldn't have impacted it that much. But when the Storm went up from a 3 to a 4, I think it was because of War Machine.
Absolutely.
So I was doing all right with that.
Well, War Machine and your boy Legion.
War Machine and Legion. There it is. That's exactly what it was. All right, so I was doing all right with that.
You know who can help with that?
Tell me.
It's not Red Guardian for once. It's Zabu.
Zabu getting that 4 cost down to a 3?
Getting War Machine or Storm out early. Still use that one from time to time, even after the change.
I haven't found any luck with it. I'll just put it that way.
Because you also got to keep Ebony Maw and Infinite in that so that you're not... I mean, if you can lock everybody out, great. That can't be your only path to victory.
And then I had the Agatha deck where Agatha was there specifically to knock out. I think I picked this one up off Reddit. Agatha, and you used a bunch of odd cost cards. And the only even cost card that you had in there is Ghost Rider. The rest of the cards are built to discard Agatha. Like Moon Knight will discard an even card. That one was doing pretty well for me. Being able to get Agatha discarded and out there was pretty cool. So there you go. That's my meta and season thoughts. How about you? What was your experience last season?
Well, I told you about my Scream Move It and Lose It deck, and I got on a roll pretty quick with that one and hit another early Infinite.
Infinite again. I wish I had the capability of hitting Infinite. I don't know if it's because I don't have the patience and I retreat too much, or I don't snap enough.
I think my problem is I don't retreat enough. I don't know. Part of it is because I've had a few in a row, and part of it is you're starting at 70. In the last 2, I've just hit the meta at the right time. I was using War Machine right when he switched over, and that one was having a lot of success. And then I was using Scream right when she first came out. So maybe it was before people got used to it, before adjustments were made. But that's what happened with the last 2. I just lucked into the right one at the right time. Then I played a lot of high voltage. I don't know. At that point, it's harder for me to gauge how I'm doing. If I'm trying to get to Infinite and I'm stalling out, I know I'm not having much luck. Can't remember where I finished. Usually I finish in the low 80,000s, whether I get Infinite first thing or on the second to last day of the season like I did that one time. This time I kept it under 70,000, which is still not impressive, but better than I'd done before. I had a lot of good decks. The Islands in the Stream one was fun, if for no other reason than every time I played it, I thought of Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. And I got get into the unlocks, but I got the Arthur Sidam, the Marvel Zombie variant Cover King. I got his variant of Namora, which I didn't even notice there's zombies in the background there.
Is there? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's the original Namora, the version that I knew from what I'm not sure. I mean, I read a couple Agents of Atlas issues, but it was never on my radar. But I don't know. I like that one, and so I tried her out. And Symbiote Spider-Man's a lot of fun in that deck, because he combines with a card, so you can build power and keep one card one card there. So had a lot of luck with that. I think it was just to fill all locations to get some of those bounties. So I'd been using Patriot before my friend suggested throwing anti-venom in there with him. So I had a lot of luck with that, experimenting with Scarlet Spider and things like that. So I had several decks working for me. But yeah, the Scream just, I just went on a roll with that one. And then High Voltage, I heard a lot of positive things about it. And usually on the internet, you hear nothing positive.
That's true.
a lot of people like that. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't really miss it. Toward the end of the week, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to go back to normal. Once I got Agony, which again was just, if I can get this card for free, I'm going to get it. Same reason I try to get a lot of the Conquest variants is like, it's there. And then turned out to be way better than I thought. I kind of think it would be neat to have it as maybe an option for friendly battles.
Yeah, I could see that.
That was the one thing. The only disappointment I have with it is I'd like to try a friendly battle with this. After a week or so of focusing on it, I kind of lost interest. So maybe it is best in limited doses. That's what I was kind of wishing. Make it an event once in a while where you throw it open to everybody and you have prizes, but maybe put it in there as an option for friendly battles all the time.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought High Voltage up because I really found it to be a bright spot in this past season. I loved that mode. Snap overall is known for its quick in, quick out. You can pick this game up and play it and have a game done within 5 minutes. And High Voltage took that to another level. You only had
definitely
3 turns, all this energy and more cards coming at you. I played that mode constantly, so much so that the alliances fell to the wayside. I didn't care about how I was doing. I loved being able to get all that energy, and it was kind of random too, which made it interesting. How much energy were you going to be able to get? Can you pull off this combo before turn 3 hits? Some decks went like bye-bye. Like there's no way you could do a couple of these decks because of just the circumstances you were in.
I was reminded of how much I relied on Magic when I would get it. Yeah, you can't use this deck.
Can't use Magic. You see all your decks up at the top. They're all marked. Nope. And you're right. It did seem kind of inconsequential. As you're moving up in the ranks, if you got everything, what's the point now? What's the point to keep playing this game? But still, there were some situations where like, okay, I've not played this card for a very, very long time. Now I've got the opportunity, like, okay, it makes sense to kind of play this card. I play this deck, my discard deck with Gambit in there. You just want to start by turn 3 unloading Gambit and killing all that. So anyway, I'm glad you brought it up because High Voltage was definitely a bright spot in the season for me.
Yeah, I had a couple decks I generally used. Definitely a discard one with Scorn. I called that one Disco Inferno because Gambit would be burning up some cards. I had another one that was just my general voltage deck that I labeled High Voltage. The idea was just to get out as many cards as I could. That's actually where I started using Patriot even earlier. Had Patriot in there with Dr. Doom, White Tiger, Odin, She-Hulk, Jubilee, just trying to get out as many cards as I could and fill things up. Sunspot to catch any of the leftover energy. Yeah. The last version I had was Wiccan in there in case I did manage to use all the energy. Let's see. Shang-Chi to take care of the big cards other people would be thrown out. I was just trying to fill up the board as much as I could.
I'll tell you what drove me nuts. When I would update a card and I wanted to go back into High Voltage, but I always forgot. So I would go back out to the main menu and it'd be like, okay, I need to go over to High Voltage, but I forgot to do it. So I'd hit play and I get through the first turn and I'm like, why I only got like 1 energy? I didn't go into High Voltage.
I did that many times. Every once in a while I tried to play it through, but sometimes I was just like, there's no point. Here, take my cube, let me leave and go.
I'll see you later. Okay. All right. Well, let's get into unlocks here. I'll quickly go through my list. Currently, I'm sitting at, as of a couple days ago on the 6th of November, I was at 14,265 collector level with 1 spotlight key burning a hole in my pocket because I really, I don't know. I'm not enticed with this most recent card. So we'll talk about that when we talk about next season. But regardless, it's that spotlight key. It's tough to hold on to. This has got to be a lot of cards for me because with me getting the season pass, then that kind of opens the door for at least a few more variants. All right, first up, Baby Deadpool. And you've seen that Deadpool variant with the suction cup darts on his head. Somebody at one point said that they swore Baby Deadpool and Baby Punisher went together because Baby Punisher's guns are shooting the suction cup darts.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah. Next up, Mike Diodato Nova. I'm a big fan of Diodato's art. I love his art. This is the one I showed you where I ended up ink splitting him. I put a black matte border. So it's the first time I used one of the borders that I received and put on a card. And it looks pretty good. I like it a lot. John Boyd Myers Ronin, which is it's a complicated looking card for some reason. I don't know why, but it just looks like a big mess. Dan Hip Dazzler. Dan Hip Shuri.
Nice.
Agent Venom. So clearly I must have got a few cards before I got the season pass. Dan Hip Multiple Man. J. Scott Campbell Lizard. And these Pandart variants were all part of the season pass, I'm pretty sure. Pandart Venom. Then I got War Machine and Blink, which that must have been the week where I was like, oh, okay, I don't have a few of these cards. I'm going to go ahead and start nabbing them. So I got War Machine, I got Blink, a Max Grecki Cloak, a Pixel Maximus, a Pixel Loki.
So is that Pixel Maximus, the one that looks like the Beyonder?
I was looking at it.
No, that's Dylan McDermott Punisher, I think.
Pixel Maximus looks pretty cool. Okay. Pixel Loki, Pandart nice. Carnage, and then I got a Peach Momoko Echo, an X-Men 97 Magneto, and I split him, and the first split was an ink split. I'm pretty sure there too, which is pretty cool. The X-Men 97, have you seen it?
Yeah, I don't mean to rain on your parade, but everybody got that one.
Oh, thank you. All right.
Not everybody ink split him, so good job.
Where did we get it from?
I think there was some kind of error with something, and they gave it to us as a make good.
Oh, gotcha.
It was one of those that I was like, oh, that was a problem? Yes, it was terrible. Thank you for compensating me.
I appreciate it. Well, I love the look of it because it looks like one of the old cards. They need to do more of that because that's awesome. Peach Momoko, Jean Grey. I got her with a spotlight key. I was probably trying for one of them. I can't remember. But anyway, Pixel Black Widow, Dan Hip Iceman, Baby Human Torch, Agony, Dan Hip Dokken, Steampunk Quake. So I've got like 3 Quake variants now. I'm very excited. Elsa Bloodstone, and then Toxin. Coelho Iron Man, which we were talking about. That was at the end of High Voltage. High Voltage. I got a Pantheon Giganto variant.
I have that one.
You mentioned Pantheon in the past.
There's not a bad Giganto variant that I have seen.
Joe Mad Taskmaster, which I remember pulling that variant. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And hey, it's Joe Mad, which it is not. Unfortunately, Taskmaster does not bring out the Joe Mad that I want to see in these cards. Yeah. There's not enough teeth. I want to see more of that. But I love Joe Mad anyway, so I was kind of excited to get that. Pandart Agent Venom, Pandart Armor, which was the poll winner. Did you vote for Howard?
No, I voted for Armor. I thought she looked cool. Plus, I've got a Dan Hip Howard, so it's like, what other Howard am I going to use?
All right, then. I see. Well, I voted for Howard, but yeah, we all ended up getting Pandart Armor, which it's all right. It does look pretty cool.
I didn't have another Armor and thought that one looked cooler than the original Armor where I went.
Jim Lee, Captain America.
Nice.
Absolutely awesome variant. Amanda Connor, Ghost Spider, which that is the Ghost Spider, if I remember correctly, that I ended up getting. I spent a spotlight key. It just got Ghost Spider. I'm like,
Well, Ghost Spider, I guess it's good that they call her Ghost Spider instead of Spider-Gwen. And I mean, I've read some good Ghost Spider stories, but I mean, the whole point of Ghost Spider is that she's Gwen Stacy. So when she's masked up, you lose some of the appeal of the character.
And it kind of aggravated me too, because I had one spotlight key and I'm like, I'm going to take a chance. And there was at least 2 cards there, the new one and another one that I did not have. And in both situations, I got a variant of a card that I already have. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'm done doing this for a while. I'll build up a few spotlight keys before I jump back in and do this again. But anyway.
But Jesse, imagine, if you will, your first spotlight key, your very first spotlight key ever, and you're looking at an option of a new card and 2 cards you don't have. And you put that spotlight key in, you get friggin' MODOK. I use MODOK a lot now in my discard decks. I've made my peace with MODOK, but I still remember that first punch to the gut. It was like, what's the card I want least in the game?
MODOK.
wrong.
right.
MODOK has his uses.
Yeah.
He works better now, but at least the Amanda Connor Ghost Spider does look cool.
Yeah, I actually split that too, and it's got a prism background, and it looks really good. I liked it. Dan Hip, Baron Mordo, and Eduardo Francisco, Adam Warlock, which looks really good. And then Pixel Electro, and then a Chibi Red Skull. So there you go. That are all of the variants and cards that I unlocked. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brand new cards for me at the end of this season. Agent Venom by far is the one I've used the most. War Machine was definitely up there for a little bit. I'm so glad I got Blink because I wanted to get Blink when she came out and I didn't. And I was like, oh man, I wanted a lot of those cards. And I say 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I got 6. I don't know if I said 5. I got 6 variants, or excuse me, 6 new cards. Elsa Bloodstone, she's going to find a spot in my deck as soon as I get a chance to like actually play around there. But out of all these, I'd say Agent Venom is what I really, really loved. So, all right, man, it's up to you. What do you got here? Finish this out with these unlocks.
Well, I'm at 17,405 collector level. I do have one spotlight key I just got, and I'm probably not using it for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I started off, I think first day I got Scream. Then I got a Scarlet Witch hip, a David Marquez Namor from the recent run of Avengers, but I call it the School of Rock variant. You know how they kicked Jack Black out of the band and the long-haired weird dude that replaces him? The outfit he's wearing at the end, at the Battle of the Bands. That's Namor's costume. I know it's too early for plugs, but if you go to asterisk51.blogspot.com, I have a post suggesting that School of Rock is a Marvel Cinematic Universe film and Spider is really Amnesiac Namor.
Never too early for plugs, by the way, especially for the blog there. I love it.
I got the Yondu sports variant.
He's running track, right?
No, it's archery.
Oh, yes.
The sports variants are usually very on the nose.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Then I spent some gold to get the Bronze Age Symbiote Spider-Man variant, which is the Secret Wars cover.
Okay.
So that one
That's
is
nice. I love that.
Pixel Jubilee, Pixel Sarah, and then I got the Sidam Nomura. I think that was when I took a shot at Misery. And I got the Rincione Zero, which is where Zero is like a big, thick robot. The Ryan Benjamin Miles Morales. I ink split the Ultimates Blue Marvel.
Nice.
So I was trying to get a gold because I want all my cards in my boosters gold deck to have gold splits.
That's a good goal.
A gold. I was a lot closer to having it filled up before I threw Antivenom and his pals.
Ouch.
Then I got the X-Men 97 Magneto, got Scorn, used tokens on Ajax because I was really itching to. I didn't even talk about that one. I tried an Ajax deck that worked out pretty well for me a few times. I originally wanted to pair him with Scream and Kingpin, but I think there was just too much going on to get enough move cards and subtractors in there. But I've used the Ajax deck. I call it AKA Barry because I still can't remember a comic. I'm sure I've read a comic with Ajax in it, but all I see is Barry from the Tick. Got a Pixel Iceman. Got Agony. Then some more Dan Hip. Got Blade and Beast.
Nice.
Got Old Man Hawkeye, which looks kind of cool, although I'm conflicted because Old Man Hawkeye and Old Man Logan was blind. But then I'm like, am I really going to complain that something doesn't remind me of Old Man Logan? I don't think so. Then I got Toxin. I gold split Red Guardian. Then I got a Dan Hip trifecta: Spider Ham, Spider-Man, and the Leader.
Nice.
Now, Spider, I can't remember if I used gold on Spider-Man or not, but either way, good stuff. Let's see. Then I got the Pandart armor. Got 2 gold splits in a row, Howard and the Dan Hip Blue Marvel.
Dang.
Got a 1602 Mr. Fantastic. Took my first shot, or maybe it was my second. Tried to get Anti-Venom and then got Super Giant and Spider-Gwen, and then got 1,000 tokens. Got the Mark Brooks Storm variant from Conquest. Gold split an Iron Lad. Got the Carnival Claw variant. Have you seen this?
No. Send that to me.
The only Carnival variant I even remembered most of the time was the Ronin one, because it's him using the strength thing with the hammer. I thought that one was pretty clever. The Claw one is Claw in his human form, so not living sound, using his weird gun in a claw machine that he's busted through and about to blast some plushy Avengers.
Nice.
It's interesting. I started to put it in with some deck I was using claw in, but it just doesn't look like claw. I like it, but it doesn't look like claw.
Huh.
Let's see. Then I got a pixel rocket and finally anti-venom. I used a bunch of the Scream was great for me. Scorn was fun. Agony shows up everywhere, but anti-venom right now, I'm having a lot of good luck with him. So when I saw this season, I'm like, a bunch of symbiotes. That's going to get old. This was a pretty fun season.
I agree, man. I had a good time. And yeah, you still knocked it out. All those gold splits. That's got to be the most you've ever done in a season.
I just keep trying to concentrate on the same ones to get those.
Get those on that deck.
Try to get a theme. Like I was trying to go through and do the Living Iron Slot one. I had a bunch of Dan Hip gold splits in that one.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I just try to keep concentrating on them, and because, you got to keep splitting them to increase the chance. So if I try to focus on certain ones to get them.
Did you see that they laid out the percentages for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Which
I think that's what we got the X-Men 97 Magneto was because in one of the updates they screwed up the percentages and there weren't as many golden ink splits. That's why they sent out that. Did they increase the percentages for a while?
I don't know.
They fixed it. Whatever the problem was, it was making them less likely. They fixed that. So maybe that had something to do with it. But yeah, I just try to, sometimes I'll see one and be like, oh, cool, I got to build this one up. Or I'll want to gain levels and get a spotlight key quicker. But usually I try to focus on which ones I'm going to build up to try to get those anchor golds.
Right. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
The Prism thing does nothing for me.
You don't like the Prism stuff?
I do not.
Man, there are some cards that really make it.
I think it cool a few times, but if other people like it, that's great. If I get a Prism split,
not favorite.
If it looks okay, or I go to a custom card, no big deal. But I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me.
I hear you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's our discussion on the meta and the unlocks. Thanks a lot for joining us. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the next installment of Snap Material.